like music or what. They must have liked music, but they weren't vocal about it. But I sort of tried to sell tickets. And that was a complete surprise to me, to be asked to be chairman of that. Because I wasn't a musician. I didn't play anything. And do you remember, what the heck was her name? Bill Minnick's mother?
I remember the name.
Minnick. Well, she was YWCA. And I read long afterward that she was horrified when they picked me to be the chairman of the symphony.
Why?
Huh?
Why was she horrified?
Well, I was not a society woman.
Oh.
And the big meeting when I was chosen, I was there in a cotton dress. You know, I didn't have a lot of clothes or style. And she made a statement to the newspaper that after all the work she had done to promote symphony music in Springfield, to think what they did, and left it just like that.
Well, there's a picture here of you and her talking over plans.
Oh, that's...
Says she was the leader of the Orchestra Wives. Was her husband in the symphony?
Or he was in the symphony. Or some member of the...
Yeah, he was the vice president of the board,
yeah.
So I don't know why she was president of the Orchestra Wives.
Well, she just took it over.
Yeah.
And I think she expected to be asked.
Oh.
And what was the Bailey fellow's name?
Eldon Bailey.
Eldon proposed me for the... I really truly was flabbergasted. I didn't know why. As the chairman. Because Eldon said after he could work with a person like me, but he couldn't have with her. She was a dictator. I ought to remember that. Should have been able to recapture that.
So you also, I remember, went to the national conference of American Symphony Orchestra League.
That's where I got the appointment.
Appointment to?
As the chairman of the...
Oh, I thought you were already the chairman.
No, I was sent as a delegate.
Oh.
And see, there was the Bailey money back of me.
So, what do you think was the most fun about that being in the Women's Committee of the Symphony? What do you think was the most fun about that?
I don't think you would call that fun. You were just, you felt you could help something that meant a great deal to you. You couldn't play an instrument and or tootle at anything, but you could. So I could sell people. And I had to figure that out for myself because really that meant a great deal to me.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'd like to have you talk about, talk about music a little bit. Tell me about why it is that you even want it, why you like music. That's what I want to know.
I've liked it ever since I can remember. Rockabye Baby, you know. No, music, America was very difficult to... Well, for instance, I never heard of a good orchestra when I was a girl. There weren't any in our small town. And when I first heard a full orchestra, I think it was one of the big orchestras came to town, and we bought tickets. I was transported. I wish I could feel that way sometime again.
I cannot get this thing to focus. I'm having the most horrible time with it.
I broke it.
No, I'm having a terrible time. I can get it, and so there's a lot of mishmash going on here because I'm trying so hard to make it work. But it seems to change a lot. It changes with different things. That sometimes you can go in real close and get focused like this, and sometimes you can't focus at all.
So it can't be the light.
Maybe it needs a little regulating.
I don't know. It's okay right now. Okay, I think.
Well, you said your mother.
My mother sang.
And she used
to... She had taken voice, as what they called it when she was a girl. I think it was about the only thing, perhaps, that she had taken that really would cost anything. And she worked for that. But she could sing. I think she had a memory that if she heard something that impressed her, she could sing it back.
Mm.
And I remember that as a child going around the house listening to opera.
Mhm.
And I don't know how she knew how to pronounce it or what have you.
Where do you think she would have heard it herself?
Well, we weren't far from Pittsfield,
Mm-hmm.
and it would have gotten there, but I don't know how she would have heard it. I think that sometimes some people's ears just naturally gather in.
Mm-hmm.
But I can remember hearing a musical piece and hardly being able to wait to get someplace by myself so I could sing it back to myself. I might have made a musician.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not a good one,
Mm-hmm.
but see, I never had any music at all.
Didn't
Except
have a
grade
Victrola?
school.
Did you have a Victrola?
My grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
And at school, we always had music. I remember my first day at school, the first grade teacher teaching us, what the heck was it? A child's song,
Mm-hmm.
but I thought it was heavenly. And I didn't have any girlfriends that shared my love for that kind of music. Of course, my uncles sang ragtime,
Mm-hmm.
and the men in the family all sang. My Uncle Pete used to make a mouth about that big. He had to get a deep note out. No,
Did they sing harmony? Did they barbershop?
they didn't do barbershop, but all around us there was barbershop if you could catch one. But see, it was after dark.
Mm-hmm.
After dark had fallen, and girls were discouraged from going away from the yard.
Mm-hmm. So they would go to your grandmother's, your uncles?
Or not necessarily there, the boys,
Mm-hmm.
but my Uncle Dan sang, and he fancied himself a great deal. But to find some men that sang harmony was a rare treat.
Do you remember when you heard a live orchestra for the first time?
Well, I heard an orchestra at the German Hall.
Mm.
They had concerts all the time, and then we were taught in school.
What kind of music would the Germans play? What kind of?
Waltzes
Mm.
and ta-ta.
They didn't play classical music, though.
No, they might sneak in maybe a suspicion of one, but they were not classical musicians.
Did they have? Was that a brass band, or did they have
Brass
string?
bands.
When's the first time you ever heard a string orchestra?
To be honest with you, I did not like violins because they all squeaked.
Oh.
See, we didn't have any real players,
Mm-hmm.
and so I never heard them in the aggregate. When I went on into what's the school next to grade school?
High school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we had part singing.
Mm.
We'd been graded.
Oh.
I was a second soprano, and our grade school teachers did that,
Mm-hmm.
and spent long hours practicing.
So that's probably one of the first times you heard vocal harmony with.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And we learned to sing special pieces for, say, for special holidays.
Mm.
And the whole grade would sing that.
Mm-hmm.
And you better sing on the key.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't dismissed. You were just you know how we sang slips to begin with, a little piece of paper with the scales printed on it.
Oh, really?
And we had to learn the scales, to name them, to pick melody out of them by reading the notes.
Mm-hmm.
And
They call that solfeggio.
Is that what that
That's
is?
what that's called, solfeggio in the well-bred young person had to learn that. I guess everybody had to learn that.
We had to be able to sing a piece from the notes alone.
Mm-hmm.
And I never realized then how much good that would have done.
Yeah. Well, I wish I'd known how to do that.
And we were little kids. I could pick out, after I learned the scales,
Mm-hmm.
I could pick out from the notes, the music, one note.
Mm-hmm.
From there on, it was, I never could afford it.
Mm-hmm.
I would have given my back teeth. I gave them anyway. But no, music didn't begin to be general, to where it was like easily had. There were no groups of kids. There's only one piano. There's only one groups of kids that would be able to play one finger at a time.
Mm-hmm. Did your grandmother have a piano?
What are you getting now?
I'm not getting anything.
Now talk it,
You
get
got the lens cap on.
I know. There. I was just setting my time again, which had gotten out of whack. Let's see. Yep, it's all back on there again. Okay, there. Well, now we're going to go out and do a little filming out here.
Yeah, we can go out and film some buildings.
Has it stopped raining?
It isn't raining.
Well,
I don't know what you're seeing, but it isn't
no,
raining.
we did. It was on the window.
Oh,
Oh,
It isn't raining now.
no, it isn't.
you saw the rain though. Right.
You want to see how that did?
Yeah, we might as well. Yeah.
Is it going now?
Yeah, it's going. Well, you know, this is the only way that your cousins are ever going to get to see you.
Who are you saying hi
Huh?
Everybody.
Yeah. Do you know their names? It's all right. You don't have to.
And Matt Lowe.
No. Hey, good. This is wonderful.
Hey.
I'll appreciate it too, because, you know, I never get to see either one of you. Well, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, that's easy enough.
Yeah, she's
to? Matthew Mark.
Right. And Colleen, see, they've never met you.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Colleen.
We're gonna go to the city hall.
Doesn't even know
I
it's...
remember. We only lived there for about a year, actually. Then we lived on the right side. I dream about that house once in
You
a
do?
while.
I don't. I don't know what you're about, except our room was upstairs.
In the back. Very back.
Okay. I guess that's enough of that.
Courthouse.
Our mother met for the Humane Society, and
In the basement they met. You can sort of zoom in on the basement windows there.
right there is where she met to do business about the Humane Society.
Looking.
me, Mary Rose, just, I mean, this one cassette.
Have you seen her granddaughter?
She's
Very,
really
very
cute.
healthy
No.
baby.
I was playing the shot of Dan, Mike, and Ed and I in Auburn.
Are you gonna show it to me? When will you show it to me?
Anytime you come over.
Yeah, okay. I'll be here till Wednesday.
Plus all kinds of other.
You mean family pictures?
home movies, too.
That's
You know,
okay.
you gotta really remember one thing about these. They
Yes.
last forever.
I
Oh,
know.
they do.
Sure, it's like watching a 2-hour special.
But you know what I'm gonna do, Bill? I'm going to make a special about Mother and Dad. That's what I'm doing. I think it'd be kind of
After I
nice.
saw myself, nobody would want to see it.
Well, everything's
Forget
ready.
it.
When they fry, you never know. It might just get a little stewed looking. I mean, I don't want it to stew. The ends is how it's supposed to be crisp.
And you are the chef, right? What do you mean they last forever, Bill? Explain what you're trying to say. Tell me, what philosophical point are you making here? That you gotta watch these things the rest of your life?
It's like watching a miniseries. When you're shooting 8mm movie film, you only got 3 minutes on a roll.
Like the
Oh.
VCR.
Mine's an hour, okay?
I love the positions of they've adopted,
Yeah.
adopted everything.
But I really like it. I just love it. And I got to make music videos with, so I'm writing it off.
You got it for
My work.
Oh, well, sure.
And I took it and found out that it edits off as just as good as if a commercial.
Rice for you.
You
Where in
have
the
some-
world is this little
Yeah, I
fork
had
come
some.
from?
Mary Seal,
Yeah, what it was.
put it on
Go
there.
ahead.
Are they served up there?
There you go.
Colleen?
Colleen,
I
you
had
want some?
Huh? You haven't used it?
I don't
This
know
is
what
Dinner
that-
Shea Harper, right?
You got a tight shot at the stir fry?
I sure will.
We're getting
We're all
flip
rice
that
now.
from.
Tight shot, stir fry.
Remember this rice buttered?
Yes, ma'am. That it is.
We have you.
Here, Daddy. Wait a minute. How come we got two big forks over here?
Cooked by Aunt
Maybe we're-
What's this hospital you're in now,
That's
Bill?
plenty.
Willie?
The one I'm in right
Yeah,
now
just give her a little
Yeah.
bit.
is called Jewish Hospital.
Huh?
Jewish.
Same one?
Yeah,
Oh, I thought you moved up to another one.
I will next year. We'll be going to a different one. Yeah, I'll move up.
And you're working in a hospital too, right?
Yes, I'm at the university.
You in the previous?
Mm-hmm.
Aw.
Golly, are you really? What a
Yeah.
responsibility.
Lord.
They have a neonatal unit
About
there,
you,
like
Will?
a crisis kind of stuff.
You got,
Yeah, that's what I
you
work
got
at.
Did
some
you
set
really
up.
with those little babies that weigh a pound and a half or something awful?
You fall in love with them or what?
Yeah, some of them.
How long do you get to keep them?
Until they're
Your
5 pounds.
cousin,
Ah.
3 times removed, who lives in Ravenna, Ohio, has had 2 like that. Her first one weighed 1 pound, 5 ounces or something.
Oh
If you get up to a certain level,
Yeah.
then you can put into your contract royalties for
Sure,
each
sure.
performance or something like that, so you have some kind of continuing thing.
The lighting designer for the Ohio Ballet also does the New York City Ballet. So he not only has a contract with the New York City Ballet, he's got a contract with the Ohio Ballet and the San Jose Ballet. He's he's the premier lighting director in the world.
Isn't it?
Thomas Skelton, she'll know of him.
Well, then maybe she might get royalties
That's right.
on
That's
each
right.
performance, but when
Exactly.
you're lower down the scale, you
Yeah.
just get a one shot.
But that's how you start. You don't start at the top.
Well, she did the what did she do? The scene, the set, I guess,
Mhm.
in Newark last summer for
Mhm.
one of the summer things.
Newark what?
Newark, Ohio.
Anything goes, yeah.
I think so that was a set fee, I think 800 or 900
Mhm.
bucks. She worked almost all summer on it.
Mm-hmm.
It ran for 8 or 9 days, but she, once it opened, then her job was over.
But that's her choice.
And that's also
what she
your,
wants to do.
what do you call that thing that you have then going for you is your resume or whatever?
Right.
Well, yeah, it's credits.
Yeah,
is what they
credits.
call
And
it.
that's what you do until you get there. I mean, that's,
Then
you know.
then you can demand more.
Sure. So that's
It ain't
okay.
easy,
She
though.
knows what she knows. I'm sure she's realistic about what what that's like.
I didn't really realize that's the way it worked, though.
Yeah.
I thought maybe somewhere along the line you got a 9 to 5 job.
She could if she got connected with something like the Cleveland Playhouse or.
Well, she's got a
Some theater.
she's got a contract she's going to bid on now with Kings Island
Ah.
Productions
Uh-huh.
for one of their theme parks in
Uh-oh, tape
Virginia
in.
or
Damn it.
someplace
Uh-huh.
like that to design some kind of a canopy of a country quilt.
Mhm.
And she's gonna bid about $850 on it. It'll be-
Well, she knows what she should ask.
That's
She knows
right.
what the going rate is, right?
Yeah,
She don't know what her time commitment is, what materials
Yeah.
are, and all that kind
but
of.
that's the whole thing.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
that's all she does, one summer, that's all she gets.
Sure, but she's just getting started. I mean, it's like when you get started, you don't start out at the top.
I know.
Paul knows that, but Paul's getting in a different range
Well,
now.
but Paul's
But he's
been working
been
at this
working.
for several years now. He's not just starting out.
Okay, I'm gonna go. Adios.
It says tape end, you know, as a matter
Do
of
you want us
fact,
to
Bill,
come up?
so it's okay.
Adios, I hope that everything came out all right.
I think it
And I will
did.
see you.
When are you going to show me that stuff about Auburn?